All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing good today. It is Tuesday. We got Jerome Powell a little bit later. I really genuinely haven't even looked at the market today yet. So tell me what's going on. Honestly, I see most stuff is actually down. But what it looks like happened was that a lot of stuff kind of ran a little bit yesterday. It wasn't a huge green day for some stuff. Oh, except for the SPY was basically flat though. So yesterday, flat day. Today we're down a little bit. Let's talk about the biggest news stories of the day here. I gotta tell AI, where's my scheduled news update for the stock market and finance here in the U.S.? All right, so the biggest stories in finance, chat. Again, market reacts to new tariffs on steel and aluminum imports. The decision heightened concerns about potential trade conflicts and their impact on the global economy. So again, the president said he announced 25% tariffs on all steel, aluminum, effective immediately. In response, U.S. stock index futures dipped with contracts tied to the tech-focused NASDAQ 100 leading the decline. So here's the cue right here. Yeah, it's down today for sure. But then, my question is, wasn't this announced yesterday? Wasn't this announced yesterday, though? So markets are down. Yeah, this was announced over I've seen this news story pop up in every breakdown over the last couple weeks, to be honest. Again, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell set to testify before Congress, specifically the Senate today, providing insights into the central bank's perspective on the economy, inflation, and potential impacts of recent tariff announcements. The economy near full employment and inflation expected to ease. Powell. Wait. Where is inflation expected to ease? Because the last reading I saw, they expected it to show up a full percentage point higher. Originally, it was 3.3. Now they're expecting 4.3%. If you look at this right here, this dropped on Friday. That doesn't seem like an easing inflation. But, maybe I'm missing something here. Again, with the economy near full employment, unemployment was low and inflation expected to ease. Powell emphasized a cautious approach. Oh, maybe this is what the state of things were in when he spoke last in the FOMC meeting, indicating no urgency to adjust the policy stance until the economy's response is clear. Investors are keenly awaiting his remarks. Again, tomorrow we got CPI inflation data. It's a really big release. PPI inflation the day afterwards on Thursday. Additionally, the National Federation of Independent Business Small Business Optimism Index and the Census Bureau's retail sales report for January are coming out Friday. Big crucial data releases. We'll see what happens there. Corporate earnings. So today, again, we got a lot of stuff scheduled today, including Coca-Cola, Shopify, and Cisco this morning. If we take a look at KO, Tesla down to under 350s. If we take a look at KO, it's up big. Earnings must be out for it. Let's see if we can put them up in chat. Netflix is eyeing video podcasts as it warms up to creator content, according to Business Insider. So Netflix is trying to go full social media. It's an interesting move. Bank of England's Governor Bailey says there is a reaction taking place against regulation. They must not forget the lasting damage done by the GFC. According to a Reuters poll, the 10-year Treasury yield to hold steady at 4.5% in 3 months versus 4.4% in January. They originally thought the yields would be dropping, and this is a tell on interest rates. Yields and interest rates tend to follow each other, so if they think the Treasury yield is going to hold steady, that means they think interest rates are not going to drop versus 4.4% in a January poll. Now they're expecting 4.53%, which is about steady from where we're at now. And their this is a 3-month prediction, that is. 16 out of 21 strategists said 10-year Treasury yield more likely to be higher than forecast in 3 months than lower. Yeah. So Coca-Cola numbers are out, but I don't see it reported here. Let's see if there's a firm plans to bring BNPL debit cards to more users through deals with Fidelity. All right, so Coca-Cola is out with their earnings. They posted they posted adjusted EPS of 55 cents. It looks like they were expecting 51 cents. They posted 55-cent EPS. 10.69 billion in revenue expectations. They came in at 11.5 billion. So Coca-Cola way better than expected EPS and revenue. Yeah, we'll put this data up on screen. Here's Coca-Cola's numbers. Coca-Cola 55 cent beat 52 cents. Sales of 11.5 beat the 10.67. Alright guys, Nvidia at 132.85. So Nvidia is still down some. Dude, sometimes like I have a... Where did my GPT go? Let's do a poll. I realized I didn't do a poll. Let me check Elbow chat. What's up, chat? A lot of chats today. I thought tonight Supermicro Semiconductors. Yeah, this evening Supermicro. Every day I keep seeing people saying they're shorting Palantir. Yeah, Palantir's flying up right now, man. Look at PLTR. I think we had Shopify earnings. Shopify's down pretty significantly, though. Shopify ended up missing, I think. Yeah, so non-GAAP net income and revenue rise for Shopify. Shopify posted Q4 sales of 281, beat the 273 estimates. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think I'm never gonna short Palantir ever, right? Palantir's PE ratio is too high for me to buy it. Like, and I've already missed. This is what happened with me in Palantir. So I made a lot of money on Palantir from, like, I don't know where, I can't remember where I got it. It was like $15 to $20, and I rode it to like it was either like $50 or $60, I think. And so I took a lot of the move, right? But I'm not gonna, I'm not a diamond hands person. I'm just not. The type of trader I am is not that. I look for sure thing probability, bets if I can find them. And Palantir with like a 600 PE ratio, it's just too high, unfortunately, for me. Not saying you shouldn't buy it. I don't know. Buy whatever you want. Not saying I'm definitely not going to short it. I'm definitely not going to short it. Jerome Powell pause in March. Yeah, it's pretty probable we're going to pause in March. Hey, Mitch, my guy, dude. Hey, listen, I got to call you, bro. I'm sorry. I've been busy. I tried calling you once. You didn't answer, But I think you and I are probably the same, where streamers, we kind of get burnt out. I got my blue belt, though, so I'm definitely going to take a little bit of time off of Jiu-Jitsu. And so, yeah. Hey, nice, Mitch. Congrats, brother. Yeah, let's see what Powell does, dude. Powell. Honestly, this is the Powell, these are the Powell streams that I dislike these the most. Like, these type of Senate congressional testimony with Powell, it's basically just Powell getting grilled by both sides. Both sides are using it as like a marketing campaign for their side, and like they're just kind of like yelling at Powell, and Powell's just kind of like, okay, I'm sorry, and then that's it. Nothing ever happens. And so these are, I'm not a big politics guy. I'm pretty neutral, to be honest. I really am. But too much bureaucrat stuff on these Powell testimonies for me. We're gonna stream it all live here, like we always do. But I'd rather him talk directly about the economy, not get grilled by politicians. You're the best worst. John versus Elon. Dude, Elon would get the smoke right now, dude. I could beat Elon for sure right now. Just because I question Elon's cardio. Honestly, my friends and I were talking about it, my jiu-jitsu friends, and like, Mark Zuckerberg looks a little robotic too, right? Like, he says he's a blue or purple belt, but when you see him roll against Lex, he just, it's pretty obvious, like, Lex was like flow rolling with Mark and letting him work, and I don't know, he looked a little too robotic for me. I think I could probably take Mark too, to be honest, but maybe that's just my ego, and maybe I'd get beat up by Mark. I don't think I'd get beat up by Elon, because I don't think Elon trains, but yeah, Elon is doughy. Yeah. Will Powell already have the CPI? Yeah, Powell probably already has it. But again, like today, Powell's going to talk about the economy and through questions. Like, he's going to talk about the economy through questions. He's going to get asked questions. Basically, what happens is that this is congressional testimony. So there's two sides of Congress. There's the House and Senate. Today is the Senate. And, you have people on each side of the political spectrum that are going to grill Powell, basically, and ask him questions. And his questions are going to be telling of the economy, of future outlook, of inflation, of the current problems that persist in the United States, in the Federal Reserve. And that's what's today. Tomorrow is the House. And so it's long. It lasts a long time. It goes through each, different, representative of the House and Senate and all that stuff. So, Joe Rogan would mess me up 100%. Joe Rogan's beating me up for sure. I'm not even that good. I'm not even claiming to be that good. What I'm saying is that Elon is never trained at all, and Mark Zuckerberg looks pretty robotic. I'm pretty sure, and it's a for Mark, it has to do with exposure testing, right? Like Mark, Mark's like a billionaire, and when people spar with Mark, they're holding back. They don't want to beat up the billionaire and have him like scorned after him, and so they're holding back, obviously. And I think that is gonna make Mark like. If I go spar with people at my gym, nobody's holding back against me. I went and trained last night, dude. It was one of the first days I had my blue belt, and people were freaking coming at me. Like, I didn't get any more white belt privilege at all, I still held my own, but, like, they're not holding back against me when they train against me. And with Mark, they certainly are, Anyways, I'll talk about MMA and Jiu-Jitsu all day. We're going to move on to something else. NVIDIA down to 133s here, chat. 133s. Yeah, so we're almost up to 112s. Look at Shopify coming back. So Shopify had rising revenue as well, and sales, I'm pretty sure. Mitch, what do you think about Palantir, brother? Palantir, crazy. Absolutely crazy. Up huge. Just huge movement. Hey, nice, Dan. Good job, bro. Let me do a poll here. Do inflation expectations... How about this? Does inflation increase... what's the best way to phrase this? Inflation's always going to increase over the next 3 months. It's not going to go down. The question is, how about this? Does the inflation rate increase over the next 3 months? Yes or no? Does the inflation rate increase over the next 3 months? Obviously, this is talking about the United States. Yeah, dude. That's what I was saying, Mitch. It's got a PE ratio of like 600. I just can't buy it. It's just too high. I'm a bottom feeder value seeker. That rhymed. I didn't intend it to, but it rhymed. But yeah, I held Palantir when it was cheaper. I'm definitely not holding it right now. It's too expensive. It might keep running though. Momentum. It's obviously got the momentum in its favor right now. And so we'll see what happens. Let's see if it keeps going up. But I'm nervous of holding it. I've submitted a blue belt in my first day, but I started from an advantageous position. Yeah, but another thing that happens when you train, Pedro, is that, and this is something that it took me some time to realize, is that if it's your first day of training and you're a white belt and you walk into a jiu-jitsu gym and it's a good cultured jiu-jitsu gym, they're gonna let you tap them out. Like they're trying to keep you coming back, right? So they're gonna give you some really like strong position and they're gonna let you tap them out. It's called letting people work. And so you probably didn't really tap anybody out. He probably let you get it because you're a brand new trial white belt. You know what I mean? And that's normal. That happened to me. That happened to everybody. Like if I go out there and I train normal with like a brand new person, I'm gonna get scolded. Because they're brand new, they don't know anything. So it depends on this earnings season we've seen a lot of this where we've had good earnings and drops, bad earnings and move ups. It's strange. It really is. It's strange. Coca-Cola had good earnings though, and it's up big. So KO had good EPS, good revenue, and it's up big as it should be. I'm not trying to take away his win, I'm just saying, if it was your first day there and you tapped a blue belt, he'd let you get it. If he was a real blue belt. That's just the truth. Buy the rumors, tell the news. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the action's getting baked into the first, leading into the earnings report. The big earnings report this month, guys, is NVIDIA. NVIDIA has earnings on the 26th. It's either the 26th. It might be the 22nd. Let me see. NVIDIA earnings are going to be on the 26th. Yeah, so that's the biggest report of this month for sure. Does the inflation rate increase over the next 3 months? 76%. Yeah, I mean, I agree with them. I think the inflation rate does increase over the next 3 months. I think the Michigan inflation expectations were higher the 1 year. If you look below me, the big yellow letters, they went up a full percentage point in 1 year inflation expectations from 3.3 to 4.3%. That rate's increasing. And so I agree with the voters there that inflation's probably going to go up. I feel you, Ed. I mean, I've been training for years now, or almost 2 years, and I've never gotten seriously hurt. Although I'm kind of resilient. One thing I think genuinely helped is skateboarding. I skateboarded a lot, and like being able to land on my feet balanced is very helpful in jiu-jitsu as well, you know. And so I think it helped me not get hurt. But yeah, some people definitely get hurt. It just depends on the gym. Powell speaks at 10 a.m. today. 10 a.m. Eastern time. Shop is down. I'm not sure why. It's just a weird reaction. I mean, they did okay for their earnings. I'm sure traders are fickle. They probably saw something in their earnings report they didn't like. Shop beat Q4 sales better than expected, 2.81 versus 2.73 estimates. I'll put those up in the chat. Yeah, but if you have wrestling, you just got to learn. To be good at jiu-jitsu as a wrestler, you need to learn a very base amount, right? Like if you've already known wrestling, you just got to learn how to not get submitted, and you're fine, you know? Like you can get good quick at jiu-jitsu if you know wrestling. Judo too. Shopify sees Q1 25 revenue. I got to take a break though. I've been training too much. I really have. I trained twice yesterday. So Q4 sales beat revenue growth mid 20% rate on a year-over-year basis. So here's guidance, but I didn't see what they were expected here for Shopify. So yeah, I don't know why they're down this much. I really don't. But sometimes there's not a reason, and sometimes profit taking. I'm guessing traders saw something they didn't like. Okay, this is probably why. Okay, this is probably why for Shopify. So I'm gonna put the metric in chat that I think Shopify is dropping from. So here's Shop down to 112s. Yes, cheddar person. Yes, I don't know if it was 4. I probably took 3 showers. I definitely took a shower after each turn. But yeah. All right, so yeah, this is the metric. Shopify posts Q4 adjusted net income of $458 million versus $543 million expected. So their net income for the fourth quarter was noticeably lower than the expected number. This is probably why they're down. A big miss in terms of income. You know, that's a big miss in net income. So that's probably why Shopify's down some here. Now we have this range between like 106 and 114. I think that makes sense. Yeah, what's up, Kurt? I'm not going to compete, dude. I have a friend that trains, a couple friends that train, and he wants to compete. I told him I would just help him. I'm not going to. I'm too old. I'm getting too old for that, man. I don't have time to go drive out there and, like, I don't know. I think competing is for young people. I would be in the Masters division as like a 30-year-old plus. So like, but blue belt's different too. Like I could probably do well competing at white belt. But once you get to blue belt, the range of skill is so broad. There's just no, I'm not going to compete. I'd get beat up, I'm sure, you know. Not getting in US 30 after he speaks this morning. Yeah, I mean, we don't know. Again, I'm telling you this. Like, Jerome Powell's testimony is important today, and it's something you want to watch. We'll see how much it moves the market. You know, remember, it's congressional testimony, so he's going to be getting grilled basically by each side of Congress, by the House and Senate. Today's the Senate. Tomorrow's the House. So, yeah. Tomorrow's isn't... what I would be more so worried about is inflation data coming out tomorrow. And I'm pessimistic regarding inflation after the last couple weeks. I think inflation might be worse. I think we've moved on enough past the election to where, you know, we're going to start seeing some higher inflation rates. I think CPI is going to show up potentially higher than expected tomorrow. Slightly higher is my guess, but I think it's going to be enough to stroke fear, and the market might go down. It might go the opposite way. This is just a straight up guess, a speculation. I have no idea, but I'm thinking it makes sense. I think the logic makes sense. It sometimes just doesn't work out that way though. There's always variance, but I do think that we're gonna start seeing progressively higher and higher inflation data month to month, and I think tomorrow we have CPI inflation, and then we also have Powell tomorrow as well, testifying in front of the House. Right, so we got a bunch of catalysts tomorrow, and then Thursday we got PPI, Friday we got retail sales. So a lot of gauges of the economy this week that you want to pay attention to, and we're going to stream it all live like we always do. Yeah, all good, Mitch. No worries, brother. LIPO. That's a mover, man. That's a gap. See, I don't trade these as much anymore, but I remember I used to get so excited when I see like a big gap here. Powell's got, it's almost, we got about 2 hours. Yeah. CPI might be worse than unemployment and NFP move. It's maybe NFP data came in mostly good, and so if CPI is low, it's probably, if CPI is low, I think it's gonna like reignite optimism, and so if CPI comes in low, I think we're gonna have much more optimism moving forward in terms of inflation. If it's high, I think it's gonna kind of, you know, exacerbate the inflation fears that we're currently already in from the tariffs. Like, to put it into perspective, like the story of the last couple weeks is the tariffs, right? The new tariffs on imports and exports now. Like, companies are slapping tariffs on our imports, and we are slapping tariffs on our exports to the specific countries. All of this, the overarching consequence of this is going to be potentially inflation, and that's what a lot of people were worried about. You know, the latest round of inflation stroking tariffs was the 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum imports. So yeah, and again, that's to other countries. Like, that's for us importing steel and aluminum to other countries. But the consequence is going to be potentially inflation. So it's going to be potentially inflation here. Love you. Hey. All right, guys. let's say I have a stock and I own like a majority of the float and I were to allocate capital to it, but no one sells. Does the stock go down? I mean, what do you mean, Peter? So you own a majority of the float. And I were to allocate capital to it, but no one sells. That's the part that I'm confused with. What do you mean by that? But you are gonna give capital to it, but no one sells. What do you mean by that? Like, that's I need some clarification on that. But there's no evidence that tariffs can increase the inflation in the long term, right? Well, I mean, so our tariffs to other countries are not going to technically increase inflation. It's going to be the retaliatory tariffs that we get from putting tariffs on other countries. So, like, essentially, like, we're going to put tariffs on other countries, and then they're going to retaliate by putting tariffs on us. And the consequence of those tariffs is going to be some inflation, just because when you hurt a business's margins, they make it up through price increases a lot of the time, right? So if companies are going to have to pay, if manufacturing companies or if, you know, companies that are producing anything that is related to the tariffs, they might increase prices, and thus it causes inflation, right? That's certainly possible. Like, evidence, you don't need evidence. It's just kind of logic. And so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at. That's where the inflation fears are coming from. Yeah, we're going to stream the whole testimony live, like we always do. We always do. Purple. But the time increases for each belt. So in Jiu-Jitsu, to get a blue belt, it takes, 1 to 3 years. And to get purple, from blue to purple, it's going to take like 3 or 4. From purple to brown, it's going to take like 4 or 5. From brown to black, it's going to take like 5 or 6. So it literally takes over a decade. That's why a blue belt is such like a big thing. Like in karate, I'd have like 20 belts by now. But, you get a tariff, you get a tariff, you get a tariff. Hey. Tesla at 348. I don't understand. If you order from Canada, let's say, and a tariff goes on, doesn't the purchaser pay it, reflecting on the increase to the purchaser? Correct, yes. What I mean by this is, like, okay, say, I'm just going to give a hypothetical. Here, let's look this up. Alright, let's look this up. Okay, plastics. Okay, we import plastics, about 13.67 billion from Canada. Wood products as well, including lumber, we import, right? So let's say we have to pay higher prices for that plastic or for that wood, right? Now, somebody that creates chairs, I'm just going to use this as an example, using Canadian wood, if they sold a chair for $100, now they're paying 25% more for that wood. And so now they might say, since they're paying more, since the producer of the chairs in the U.S. is now paying 25% more for Canadian wood, now they're going to bump the price of the chairs up. Instead of $100 per chair, now they're going to bump the price up to $125. And this is just an example. I don't freaking know how reasonable this example is, but that's the point. Now you're paying 25% more and prices have risen for goods. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Tariff means, tariffs or levies just mean that you are charging people to use your products more. You're charging other countries more to use your products. So how does that help the U.S.? Well, that's even harder to explain. But, it helps the U.S. in a lot of different ways. You could say that our tariffs in general are retaliatory, meaning like we're retaliating against something that they did, or at least that he said they did. And so, yeah. What it does, I think his point is that he's going to make U.S. manufacturing a priority so that we don't need their stuff, I guess. And doing these tariffs is going to make people think more about buying from said countries versus the U.S. Like, instead, maybe people might opt to buy products in the United States now versus some of the other countries is why he's doing it. But they were retaliatory tariffs in the first place. So just say you don't know. Well, I mean, we do know the point of tariffs. The point of tariffs, again, is to discourage people from buying from said countries and encourage people to buy products in the U.S. That's the point of all tariffs, right? Now, whether it actually benefits us in that way is the part that's harder to explain, because, you know, I think a lot of people are going to argue it's not benefiting us in that way, you know, and people are still going to buy from those countries. They're just going to pay more and prices are going to go up. And so it's a nuanced thing for sure. Right. Yeah. Everybody should understand why they're putting tariffs. I'm not saying you agree with it, but you should understand why he's trying to. And again, I don't necessarily agree with it either, but the point of tariffs is to discourage buying from said country so that we buy here in the U.S., of course. Like, that's very obvious. I'm not really criticizing him either. It's not like people get so partisan that, like, I'm not criticizing him. Like, look, I'm very neutral on all this stuff. He's got a lot more data than me. He's got a lot more understanding about politics than me. You know, he's got more to understand about economics than I do, right? Now, regardless of how much you like him or dislike him, that's objectively true. You know, and so, yeah. All right, guys, we got 600 people here. We still got Powell speaking later. Yeah, let me do my X post here. And again, guys, every day we're going to post news updates on X. And so if you haven't already, 10 a.m. Yeah, I mean, and to say I didn't know that is silly. Like, that's one of the most obvious answers. Like, everybody should understand. Everybody with a basic understanding of, like, economics should understand why we input, like, why we do tariffs, right? I'm not saying you agree with the tariffs, but, like, the overlining logic behind them, everybody knows this, you know. That's a silly hill to stand on, I think. Acting like I just don't know and I'm out here making up stuff. If I'm out here making up stuff, that was one of the best guesses of all time. Top 3 for sure. Anyways, hey, we're going to post the biggest news stories of the day here. Yeah, let's do it. Alright, guys, so again, we got our X post live. Give your boy a follow on X. I'll put the link up here if you want to check it out. We do this every single day, and so if you want like a one-stop shop that kind of breaks down all the big stories of the day, here's the link. Yeah, I'm not saying he's awesome either, guys. Again, I stray away from politics because I am pretty neutral behind all of it. I don't really, I just kind of avoid the whole realm, And again, I've told people this before. Once you get to the tippity top, everybody's kind of the same anyway, and so it doesn't matter. I'm not buying much right now. I think inflation's going to get worse. Again, I'm not really buying up stocks right now. Yeah. All right, guys. Shopify at 120.80s. Shopify's coming back though. Look at this. It's back up to 120s here. We asked people, does the inflation rate increase over the next 3 months? 70% say yes, 30% say no. Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, we're just giving people economic reports, Honestly, guys, and even my biggest haters should be able to admit this, is that we've kind of changed the game with economic reports. Now everybody and their grandmother's trying to cover economic stuff. You're welcome, guys. We've been doing this for years. Now everybody wants to cover payrolls and CPI and all that stuff. But we cover it super quick. The reason we get a lot of people here is because we cover it fast. And so we kind of changed the game for it and give it to you quick. Shop back up. Yeah, Shopify is back up. I'm wondering if they're doing their earnings call right now. Yeah, I don't think we have any big earnings after. I mean, we got Shopify, Coca-Cola, Humana, BP, Marriott, S&P Global. The big one this afternoon is Supermicro Semiconductors. That one's this evening. I don't know if I'm going to cover it. I'm not sure yet. I could. Also, guys, here's the give me a follow on X. Here is the post if you want to give me a follow. I don't know if I posted this yet. Did I post it? I don't know if I did or not. But here's the link. Give me a follow on X. There you go. I don't think I did. Oh, I did. I just didn't really say anything about it. Okay. This is the worst. This is the top 3 worst song on this playlist. I feel like it's like a Skrillex song, but doesn't have any cool beats. Yeah, I like that take. Jonathan says the other way to look at it is, regardless of what we feel or think, institutions did not like the tariffs. 100%. And I think public perception of the tariffs is not good either. I think people were fearing these tariffs before he got elected. And so, yeah. When is FOMC? FOMC was weekend before last, or was it last week? Point is, next week we got the FOMC minutes report, the Fed minutes report. And so that means as of Wednesday next week, we have 3 weeks until the Fed meeting, which is in March. What's Blue Sky? I don't even know what that is. I'm not a big social media person. Y'all might see me on YouTube and assume that I'm active on social media elsewhere. I'm really not. I don't even use Facebook like that. I don't really post a lot on Facebook. I make the occasional, like maybe like once every month, maybe once every 2 months post, but I'm not one of those people. Like I see people I grew up with, and they are all on Facebook, and Facebook's not even the popular social media anymore, but they're like posting all this stuff on Facebook, trying to act like, it's a popularity contest on Facebook, and like I'm just, I just can't do that anymore. Like I got other stuff to do. And again, I see some of them, they're like posting 30 different businesses that they're starting every other week. I just end up feeling bad for them because like they're just like, it becomes very self-evident that it's nonsense. And the point I'm trying to make is that Facebook, I think, is a dying social media page outside of Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace is useful, but outside of that, people don't use Facebook anymore. They use like Instagram and other stuff. Yeah, we're streaming the Powell thing for sure. Yeah. As I get older, I just get, like I like social media for business. And so I like creating pages for business. And like, that's where I think it's useful. That's how I digest social media. Like I watch YouTube for business, and that's how everybody should use it. But using it as like a popularity contest, I never really, Shopify pulling back down. Yeah, kind of weird. It hit that previous closing price at 122. It's coming back down now. I want to see what you had for dinner, though. Me? What did I have last night? I ate a triple cheeseburger from Shake Shack. Yeah, I bought that property. Yeah, we closed on it like 6 months ago. Have you tried developing trading strategies? Yeah, we got a couple cool ones. Do you think the gold could end red this week? Yeah, I mean it could. I don't know. Gold's up a lot. It's been breaking lifetime highs. Gold's pumping up. It's starting to dip now, though. Look at gold here on the left side. Gold's down a lot today. It hit lifetime highs yesterday. And now it's down. Still up big on the week, though, but still down. Shake Shack, yeah. Shake Shack burgers are good. Shake Shack honestly has a pretty good trend of chart too. Here's the symbol for Shake Shack. It's down a little bit, but like here's a monthly chart. Not bad. I mean, it's up. What's the worst thing Powell could say today? Inflation fears are reignited. Base case is no cuts in 2025. you know, you can say a lot of bad stuff. I might be wrong, but most big companies missed their earnings except Palantir this session. Is that right? No, that's not right at all. A lot of companies beat EPS, beat revenue, beat guidance, and dropped. Netflix was one of them. Netflix beat EPS, beat revenue, beat guidance. Or no, maybe it was Google. So a lot of companies did really well for their earnings and still went down. A lot of these companies are up big. Like Google's up huge over the last few months or last few years, and so it's a good company. It's just up big already, and so nothing's going to go straight up regardless of earnings. Or should I say irregardless of earnings. But yeah, no, a lot of companies had good earnings, and they just went down. 10 o'clock. Powell speaks at 10 o'clock. Here, I'm going to put this up on screen since everybody's asking me. There you go. Yeah, super micro earnings this afternoon too. Are you bullish or bearish on it? Looking at our poll, 69%, 68% say yes, the inflation rate increases over the next 3 months. Today he's speaking in front of the Senate. Yeah, they aren't raising rates off the table. We're not going to cut this year in 2025. He could say something like that, as well as inflation worries, like something that means inflation could be worse than expected, and the market could tank for sure. Again, I don't know if he's going to say that, but he could. We'll see. Goldman Sachs CEO says the new admin is going to run a growth-oriented but broad policy landscape in the U.S. is still uncertain. All right, guys. Are you guys bullish or bearish today, man? The market's been in kind of like an unstable spot. It's been sideways, neutral. Hasn't really done a lot of craziness. Bullish? What do you prefer, inflation or economic weakness? To be completely honest, I would much more prefer economic weakness. I would rather the economy tank and inflation get better. And I know that might be a controversial take. I would much rather us enter into a recession than inflation get worse. Because the problem is this, right? The problem is like everybody should fear inflation. to be honest. Like, everybody, look at my hair right now, dude. Everybody should fear inflation. Prices have gone up too much in 5 years for us not to fear inflation and for inflation not to be the number one priority. And so I would much prefer economic weakness over inflation. What do you guys think? What would you prefer, guys? For me, it's John. No, prices have gone up too much in 5 years. You know, we should all fear inflation. Again, especially business owners. Business owners fear inflation more than anybody because, you know, employees tend to have their wages increase with inflation, right? Their salaries increase with inflation. As business owners, we're just losing money year after year to inflation. And so I don't want to see inflation rise anymore. I'd much rather economic weakness. Now, you know, you're going to get this bias that you get from lenders and people who benefit from like low interest loans. And they're going to push for, oh, inflation's not bad, you know, let's lower rates, you know, and all this stuff, right? But I don't know, man. I don't think it's time to lower interest rates. I think we need to keep rates at least the same and combat inflation as best we can, just because I don't want to see prices go up anymore. Yeah, I mean, this is just my own point of view. I'm not really copying anybody else. I'm just looking at it in terms of, like, logic. If prices have gone up ridiculous amounts, like, people, it's been an election year, and so people are so biased by the election year, and I say this every day, but it's true. People are so biased from the election year because you got one side that's being like, this is the worst it's ever been, you know, and all that stuff, and people are yelling, oh, recession, and all that stuff. They're just trying to say it's the worst it could ever be because they want their guy to get elected, you know. And so a lot of people are out here thinking the economy is in some like super weak spot where the economy is just so weak and we're heading towards a recession. And again, we're not. It's not. The economy's not weak. We're not headed towards a recession right now. GDP is high. Unemployment is low. But the real issue, the real problem, the real boogeyman of the last 5 years is inflation, not recessions. And it's opposing forces. Inflation is the opposite of a recession. Like, we have high inflation when the economy is too strong, when the labor market's too strong, when people are spending too much, not too little. And so it really is a situation where I would much rather us head for economic weakness and have inflation stabilize over a couple year period versus the economy just to be booming and strong and people are spending too much and payrolls sky high and inflation getting worse and worse and worse and worse. I think we need that type of correction because the real reason people have been unhappy for the last 5 years is because prices went up 2, 3, 4x what they were paying prior to 2020. And that's a bad thing, and nobody else wants it to go up more, you know. But again, you have a bias from like lenders, mortgage brokers, like people who their business fell off a cliff when the Fed started to get hawkish and interest rates went up because the Fed raised interest rates to combat inflation. You know, inflation's bad. They raise the interest rate. They push spending down a little bit, and yeah, so like lenders are always going to want low interest rates. They don't necessarily care about the cost to everybody else in terms of inflation for that. But yeah, I would rather us just I would rather the economy to go weak. I would rather unemployment to be high and GDP to be low or even negative versus inflation spiking up over 5 or 6% again, because that's crazy and that's dangerous. So in terms of reports today, yeah, we don't really have anything today. We don't really have any U.S. data today. We have Powell speaking at 10. We got the Red Book, which is insignificant. We got Canadian building permits. All of this is relatively insignificant. Bank of England Governor Bailey is speaking right now. All right, guys. So we're going to start to trade a little bit, I think, here. Let's do it. Yeah, we lost a little bit everywhere yesterday, though, in our trading. Let's put this up. Here's the NASDAQ 100. Look at the NASDAQ dip, too. Look at the NASDAQ fall down here. NASDAQ's dipping, gold's dipping. Markets are a little weak heading into all this stuff. Again, I'm wondering if the market is fearing tomorrow's CPI inflation report, because that's a big release. All right, tomorrow's CPI inflation report is arguably the biggest report of the week. Look at this drop right now, guys. Look at this candle. Look at the Nvidia falling. Nvidia's dumping down. Look at this. The NASDAQ's following it. I'm trying to see what else is up here. I'm going to put two charts up. We got Nvidia up here. It's falling. Yeah, I don't know what's dragging the market down. It looks like it's Nvidia. Any other tech stocks dragging it down? We had we looked at basically everything. Amazon? Nope. So yeah, this is just big drops showing up in markets. I was in my 20s in that period. Pedro. Or no, I was in my teens in that period. I have to go back and look. I don't know. Prices went up, portions went down. Do you think it's possible to have a really strong economy with no high inflation? For brief periods of the time, it's possible, but it can't sustain like that. I'm a minimalist waste, yeah. There's no way to bring down prices without cutting the spending. Well, prices aren't going to actually go down. That's not what I'm talking about, though. It's the only way we actually get prices dropping is if we enter like a deep recession or depression. Like prices fell for a small period of time in 2008, but they didn't hold, like, their prices aren't going to go back down. And this is why everybody should fear inflation, is because prices aren't going to go back down. Once they go up, we're stuck with whatever those prices are. And the only thing that can happen generally is that they're going to keep going up. That's why we should fear inflation, because it's not like we can have bad inflation and then fix it and prices are going to come back down again. That's not how it goes. Once the prices go up, we're stuck with them there. And so we should all fear inflation in that very specific way, because once they go up, we're stuck with them. The best we can do is slow inflation down. And when we say inflation is getting better, we're not talking about prices literally going down. We're talking about the rate at which they're going up is slowing. So... yeah, I don't know. Don't copy me, Bow. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable. If you lose, I can't guarantee anything. As you can read in the big blue letters or the big yellow letters at the bottom of the screen, I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. Remember, I am terrible. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Maybe wildly wrong about anything. It's entertainment only. My experiences. I basically might lose off stream, and you might not see it. Don't copy me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Understand CFTC 4.41, hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations, guys. I'm not an investment professional. Don't copy me. That's all I'm saying. Now, Powell testimony in about an hour and a half. I'll put a timer up now. It's at 10 o'clock. So we got about an hour and 25 and a half minutes or so. Oh no, I'm sorry, we got 35. Yeah, that's what it was. Oops. Here's the timer. Market's breaking down a little bit now too. Yeah, I don't know about these lines either. This is the regular NASDAQ. Really, like, all my lines are on the micro NASDAQ. Yeah, like, you can kind of see all my, like, my support and resistance areas. So these are a little different. These are the ones I base trades off of most of the time too. And these look like they have been respected some. I think we got to draw another one right around here though, because this level held pretty well. So we'll see. So we're gonna have a brief, like, 30-minute period of trading after the opening bell until Powell speaks. Tesla bouncing up a little bit. Nvidia still falling down some. Oof. All right, guys, look at this little line though. All right, so there's Nvidia. What else do we have? Gold. Here's gold. Gold's been breaking down a lot today. And again, I've been kind of against buying gold lately, but if we can speculate that inflation's going to get worse, maybe there's some value in hedging with gold. What do you guys think about taking equal size positions in the market in gold to hedge against this stuff? Right? Like, what do you guys think about, like, an example would be I take 30 grand and I put it into Mag 7 stocks, and then I take another 30 grand as a hedge and stick it into gold. What do y'all think there? What are your best hedging strategies in that regard? What do y'all think of gold? Do y'all think gold's going to pull back? Do y'all think it's going to increase if inflation gets worse? Yes, we're streaming Powell's speech. We're probably gonna pivot to that speech though. We're gonna do this stream, and then we're gonna set up another stream dedicated to the Powell speech and redirect everybody to that once it starts. Cash? Yeah, I don't like cash though, because here's the thing, right? So say you're gonna be sitting in. It depends on how much cash you have, right? Like, I would say you could buy like a 2 or 3 month bond. You know, you could buy TBIL, which is TBIL is Treasury Bond ETF. So this will pay you about 5% annualized, and it's essentially guaranteed, right? So basically, what this will do is that you'll get a dividend payment. If I did this last year a lot, where I put like 70K into this, and it'll pay me 5% annualized. So it will pay me 5% divided by 12 monthly into dividend payments. So I had 70K in this, and it paid me $3,500 a year. So every month it would put in almost $300 in dividend payments into my account. And so if you're sitting on cash, and you can sell it anytime you want, right? And so if you're sitting on cash and you don't know like when you're going to need it, I think this is a really good option, because it will. And again, I'm not an investment professional. I can't guarantee anything. Always make your own assessment, trade responsibly. I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. But I think this is best because it's liquid versus actual treasury bonds where they're a little less liquid. This is a little bit more liquid. Fees are a little bit higher here, but you know, like an example is if you don't like buying up anything in markets right now, and instead you want to take advantage of short-term bond yields, you could buy this, and then if the market does start tanking where you think it's good value to start buying up stuff, you can just kind of liquidate whatever you had in TBIL and then spin that on like DCAing into stocks or whatever if the dips start to get brutal and you start to see some value and pullbacks. Again, that's something that I'll probably start considering here. Yeah, no, I don't. To be honest, guys, I don't necessarily like gold by itself right now. And the reason I don't like it is because gold's been uptrending for almost a decade at this point. And if gold's uptrending for almost a decade, gold can also downtrend for a decade too. And so my time to buy gold is to DCA on weakness, not strength, to be honest. And so I'm not really super interested in buying up gold by itself right now. The only way I'd buy up gold is if I decided to keep buying like stocks and I would hedge with an equal sized position into gold. But I'm not even saying like I don't know if I'm gonna do that either. I'm green this year in investing, swing trading. Higher interest rates, gold will go down. So what do you think? Well, I think either one of them is possible, Fabio. The real thing is long term, you hedge with gold, but all right, guys. So again, we still got almost 1,000 people here already. Hey, welcome, chat. I appreciate you guys. Genuinely appreciate you all. Again, if you want to day trade with me, we're going to be day trading on Top Step today. Top Step gives you a demo. They test your skill with a demo account first. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it. It's a great way to learn how to day trade. And if you want to get started for a cheap amount and you don't have that much money, again, the base one's $49 on Top Step. For that $50 a month amount, they're going to give you a $50,000 demo account, like a paper account, demo account. If you can make 3K on that demo, it's called a combine, without losing 2K first, following their rules and conditions, and you want to confirm all of this with them, I can't guarantee anything. But if you can do that successfully, they fund you 50K. You get to keep your first 10K in profit once you get that funded account, and 90% split afterwards. And so the split is similar to funding your own account. 90% is pretty similar to 100%. You get to keep your first 10K in profit anyway. But if you fail, instead of losing thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars like you would if you funded your own account and lost the entire account like most day traders do, instead you're out $50. It's the best of both worlds. It's a beautiful way to learn how to day trade. The demo account comes with real-time data anyway, and so if you were going to pay for a demo account with real-time data in futures, it's going to cost somewhere in that ballpark anyway in a lot of places. And if you fail on Top Step and you don't want to reset, you can always just practice account. They have free practice accounts. And again, they've paid out almost $200 million in 4 years. They fund thousands of traders. They've been around for over 12 years. And in the futures market, it's very similar to day trading stocks. Like the SPY and Q follow the NASDAQ futures contract and the S&P futures contract. And so you can day trade the SPY and Q price action, gold, the Dow, the Russell, very similar to day trading stocks, no PDT rule, and just a great way to learn. If you want to check it out, if you use my link, TopStepX has zero commission. And so if you do sign up, TopStepX has zero commission, and so you can take micro contracts and trade pretty small and scale in and out of positions. If you want to check it out, here's the link. Great way to help support the channel. There's the link in chat. Again, they're an affiliate of mine. I am biased because I get paid by them. Not an investment professional. Top 3 most biased in the world. Understand CFTC 4.41. Hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations, guys. Not an investment professional. Don't copy me. Anyways, so we bounced back up here in the market, chat. We did pop up pretty big on the market. We're at 21,720s in the NASDAQ here. We can take a look at gold. And again, just to put that in perspective, like T-bill mirrors treasury bills, like bonds, right? Bonds are basically loading the U.S. government money for a specified period of time until maturity, when the bond, like when the end date for loaning the money, like when you get your money back, is called maturity date in bonds. And so what T-bill is recreating here is short-term interest rates. So basically you can buy T-bill, it'll pay you like you're buying treasury bonds. It'll pay you in dividend payments monthly, as opposed to if you bought actual treasury bonds, they would pay you like every 6 months interest payments. So if you got a 5% yield and you have 100K, you're going to earn $5,000 a year. You know, if it's a 5-year bond, you're going to earn about $5,000 a year over a 5-year period. And then at the end of the 5-year period, you're going to get your money back. This is just a more liquid way to do it with TBIL, you know. I think so, fee, but I'm not 100%. You got to check. You got to record your commercial. Yeah, maybe. Honestly, I've memorized it so much, it doesn't matter. Top 3 commercials ever, for sure. Yeah, you got to pay a activation fee like most prop firms. It's pretty normal. But Top Step has some of the best rules in the game, and they're honestly the most legit. I think we've memorized it too. What's up, Faye? Honestly, I only promote things I think are genuinely good for traders. And I think, like, I know most day traders lose. So some people are going to get mad, but like most day traders lose. Now, you could either fund your own account trying to look cool, you know, risking 5, 10, 20 grand and probably lose it. Let's just be real here. Or you could try a funded account program. And if you might still lose, I think most day traders just lose. It doesn't matter where they go. But usually it's a lot cheaper to lose on Top Step. But again, I'm biased, so confirm it all with them. But generally, it's a lot cheaper there. And if you pass it, you get a similar split. And if you're good enough, you can fund your own account with profits from it. So it's the best of both worlds, I think. Hey, what's up, Tiny? Good morning, good morning. Hope you're doing good. You can trade the micro Bitcoin, Yusuf. The micro Bitcoin, MBT. All right, so here, look at us pull back here. So we have the support level. I have it at about 715 on the NASDAQ. Let's see if it holds. Again, I'm watching NVIDIA a lot. NVIDIA had this big breakdown. I'm not sure if we had some news that came out or what, but NVIDIA had this big drop. I only plug Top Step like 2 or 3 times a stream, and I stream for 3 hours. So once an hour, I think is pretty reasonable. But hey, it's the internet. People are going to complain, you know. Definitely top 3 pitches ever. Yeah. All right, so the Fed's hammock. Listen to this. So this is something I said earlier, and maybe this is what's making the market drop. Fed's hammock is a 2026 voter. He said it's likely appropriate to hold rates steady for some time. So that they're holding rates steady. Look at the support hold. So 715 is the level I talked about. Look at where we bounce, guys. Literally right off of 715. I did one of those DNA tests. I've got a bunch of different stuff in me, including that. I was mostly English, but my last name's London, London, as in like the city in England. So that's not really a shock. But I had a bunch of stuff. I was like 3 or 4% African. I had a bunch of different stuff. I had some Mongolian in there. It's at 10 a.m. Bro, my dad just got a dog. My dad just left my town. My dad came in town and he brought this little dog he got from the pound. It's got to have some golden retriever in it. I'm telling you though, dude, that dog, we gave that dog, like, over here we spoil dogs at my house. So we're giving them all kind of treats. Like all kind of like good treats, like jerky, chicken, hamburger patties. Like we're giving them all kind of stuff over here. We spoil dogs at my house. And we gave that little dog some treats. That dog had diarrhea all over my carpet. I literally spent all Sunday morning shampooing my carpet. And my dad didn't even help me clean it up, dude. I don't even know, you know, I guess he's my guest. But dude, that's a different level. I'm having PTSD just thinking about this. Just thinking about it. I'm stressed. Yeah, I definitely did. Top 4, it says. Yeah. Look, I tried over here, man. All right, guys, so we're bouncing right at that level. So Coca-Cola apparently is doing their earnings call right now. The CEO says the company returned to volume growth overseas in Q4 despite macro headwinds. It wasn't human food though. It was normal. It was dog food. It was dog jerky. And honestly, I don't know what to feed dogs. I feel like what they say you should feed them changes every 5 years. You know, they used to say give them a bunch of birds like chicken and duck, and that's what Rosie likes the most is duck. She loves duck for whatever reason. But now when we go to the vet's like, you shouldn't give them duck. You shouldn't give them anything with wings. So basically just beef and salmon is what they're saying now. And so I don't know what to give the dogs. I'm just going to give them meat. you know, food. But all right, guys, market's bouncing back a little bit after dropping some. Let's watch this 732 level is what I have on my chart. Now, if we come back down, I'll move the level down to coincide with this little top here. Yeah, I'm going to move the level down to like right there. And so that's kind of how I tweak my levels here as well. Giraffe burgers, you know. All right, guys, market's bouncing back. Let's see if it holds. Yeah, my guess is the logic of dog food is what would dogs eat in the wild. I would assume what would dogs eat in the wild? I would assume they eat like mice a lot. Dogs would eat like mice. What do wolves eat? I guess wolves eat like deer. I'm sure venison's probably pretty good for dogs. Yeah, no, he's speaking right now. So Hammock says it's likely appropriate to hold rates steady for some time. Yeah, so basically he doesn't think we're going to cut rates. And I think that's what the market fears. I think the market wants low interest rates. The market's been reacting positively to indications of low interest rates. See, look at that level. We rejected right off of it, so that's good. And so these are my levels actually work fairly well. Like, look at this. We're coming right back down. Like, look at this right here. We're literally following the levels I drew. It doesn't mean we can never break underneath them or over them or anything, but we respect the levels to a certain extent, which is good. Even if we end up eventually breaking down or underneath them or breaking up over them. We should wait before buying the new dip. I don't know. The amount of influencers that are like, I kind of understand it, that went to the Super Bowl just to take videos of themselves. Half of them probably don't even know what the heck's going on. I can't get mad. They're just writing it off. They're writing it off as a business expense. I gotta kind of respect it. You know, it'd be like if I went to the Super Bowl and took like one picture of myself at the Super Bowl or one video of myself when I'm there, and so boom, instant write off. I guess I get it. Let's see, maybe I should go to the Super Bowl next year. Saints or Bengals, I might actually go. If the Saints or Bengals went to the Super Bowl, I might actually go. I don't know. I like Jalen Hurts. I'm glad he won. Yeah, I mean, my levels work pretty well. You know, so my levels work pretty well. All right, guys. Sorry, Carol came in here. Bro, I appreciate what you do every morning. I listen to you every day and make the mornings more entertaining. Hey, thank you, Curtis. I appreciate it, man. I hope we get the Eagles, coach. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm rooting for the Saints. I really am. Yeah, I liked Kendrick. He did good. Drake's probably big mad right now. I get sad when you leave. Hey, thank you, man. We appreciate you guys too. We got a good community here. Most people are chill and easygoing, you know. The thing about trading though, like, and I think we get a lot of people that stick around here because day traders lose. And so, like, people day trade, they lose, they give up trading. But we cover economics here. And so I think we get people that stick around a little bit longer. I think the longevity of viewers lasts a little bit longer here versus elsewhere because we're not just day traders. You know how many different groups of people I've seen show up on stream and then leave and then never see them again? Like, regulars show up here and leave. And I think day trading's tough. I think a lot of people lose. The Saints definitely missed Drew Brees. We've been having a hard time finding a good quarterback. I didn't think Taysom Hill did that bad, but he's definitely limited in what he can do, though. So, hey, thank you, FX. Appreciate it, bro. I trade better when I'm watching you. Hey, thank you, Tiny. Your stream is up front with lots of great info. Appreciate your time. Hey, thank you, Sean. Oh, yeah, I love the World Series. I almost went when the Astros were in it. I almost went the year before last when the Astros were in it. Or maybe it was 2 years ago. I was going to buy. See, this is the problem. I would have gone to the World Series with my family. I invited my dad, but my dad's a big LSU fan, so he went to LSU Bama instead. And it turned out to be the right choice because it was one of the most historic games. LSU beat Bama that year. This was 3 years ago. And everybody stormed the field, and so my dad, he got to go see that and storm the field and do all the cool stuff. But yeah, I wanted to go to the World Series. The problem is everybody wanted to go, right? So I was originally going with just my dad, but then my daughter's kind of like my baseball buddy. She plays softball and she likes baseball and she watches, and she liked Freddie Freeman too, and some stuff, and so she wanted to go with me. So that's an extra like $4,000. Every person's like $4,000 in the World Series, and so it would have been like 20-30 grand to go. And at a certain point, I was just kind of like, you know what? I don't feel like spending 30 grand on this. I'm okay. Like, I'll watch it on TV. All right. So the Mexico economy minister, Ebrard, says Mexico is the main destination for U.S. steel exports. I love your channel. You have taught to don't be greedy. Hey, thanks so much, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, Jaden Daniels would have been great. Burrow would have been great too. I love Burrow. I would rather Jaden though. All right, so look, here's this level. Market had a big red candle. It's breaking down. It went right down to 700s here. Let's see if it holds. Burrow is great. I like Jaden more. I think Jaden's got a little bit better potential. But Burrow's up there too. I mean, they're both great, obviously. Your cushion. Yeah, all good, man. I don't know. I didn't really look up the Super Bowl because I didn't really have any interest in going to this one. Again, if the Saints or Bengals made it, I would consider going. But, and maybe, yeah, if the Saints or Bengals, or like, I guess now the Washington Commanders, if they made it, I might consider going. But outside of them, I'm not going to the Super Bowl. See, look, we went down to this 700 level, bounced off of that too. I'm stopping myself from trading in pre-market. I really am. I gotta try not to trade in pre-market. All right, guys. So let's find this. All right, chat. Yeah, so we got Powell speaking with the Senate today. All right, so look at the market right down to 701, confirmed it a lot too. This is what I'm saying, like I could use other levels, I could use pivot points, but the levels that I document have been working really well. So we're just gonna keep chugging away at these levels. I don't want to confuse them up. If my levels are working, Einstein's definition of insanity is continuously trying the same thing, expecting a different result. If my levels are working, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna slump them. All right, chat. All right, chat. Yeah, so we got the Federal Reserve. There we go. All right, so we got this going here. Let me hit the duplicate version of this. Yeah, so again, remember, tomorrow's CPI. I think that's going to have a bigger effect on the market, even than Powell speaking. All right, here's a breakdown underneath these levels here, chat. Next level I have is 685s, but we might bounce before then, I'm guessing here. All right, so Coca-Cola CFO says inflationary pricing will play a smaller role in 2025 and will moderate throughout the year. Basically, they're not going to raise prices as much for KO, maybe? Is that what that means? It looks like it. All right. But they are also not lowering prices. Yeah, Powell's talking at 10 a.m. guys, 10 a.m. Yeah, there's a timer right there. Way over there. Over there. People are saying the president's speaking today. Hasn't he been speaking like every freaking day? Oh, dude, I don't know what my family's playing today, guys. Look at this, bro. I get sick if I eat a donut. My wife puts this next to me. Like, I can't even eat these, man. I would love to eat these. I love donuts. But if I eat one donut, I get sick. It might be a gluten intolerance. I don't know what it is. All right, so Mexico's foreign minister, he said next week I will make Mexico's arguments personally to the U.S. Commerce Secretary and the U.S. Trade Representative. Fed's Hammock says a couple different things. He said that risks to inflation right now are skewed to the upside. Basically, inflation risks are higher. He said getting inflation to target is paramount for the Fed. The economy is in a good place. Job market is solid. Monetary policy is only modestly restrictive. Yeah. So Fed's Hammock is talking about inflation. Again, as I said for the last few days, the risks are on the upside. Like, I'm worried inflation is going to be higher. That's why I'm not buying right now. I can't do it. Again, I would love to eat these donuts. I'm not even like being dramatic. I literally just can't. I will genuinely feel sick all day, and I don't want to feel sick all day if I eat these donuts. I'm not going to feel sick all day. I'm going to feel great. But that's because I'm not going to eat those donuts. Yeah, they're just trying to be nice, but I just can't eat it, unfortunately. All right, guys. CPI data tomorrow. Hey, shout out to all those that follow me on X. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Yeah, I've been trying to eat healthier. So look, guys, there's 685s. Look at that. Look at my levels here, dude. This is what I'm saying. I'm watching my levels because even though we bounced and it looks like we're kind of coming down underneath it, we were close enough to where I said my levels were. That confirms my levels even more now, I think. When's the OnlyFans dropping? Oh, next week, bro. It's $1,000 a month. All right, guys. We're kidding. Next level, I have 674s. Market's breaking down on Hammock's words, I think, regarding inflation. Hammock said inflation risks skewed to the upside. Powell about to speak. CPI inflation data coming out tomorrow. Market's definitely not crashing. You know, and again, you guys want to reserve crashing. I might say crashing down, but it's not an actual crash. Like, look, easiest way to put this is here's a weekly chart. You know, this crash is this little guy right here. You know, you know what I mean? Not a crash. Nowhere near a crash. In fact, we're still technically green over the last 2 days in the market, even with these drops. You know, the previous closing price this previous day was way down here, and we're still technically above it, I think. So, market's red, definitely weak looking, but not crashing. Is the 10-year ever going to go down ever? Well, the 10-year follows. You talking about yields? 10-year yields? What have they been doing lately? They're up today, probably pivoting. Like, the 10-year yields are going to be up because inflation risks are skewed to the upside. And inflation risks are skewed to the upside. It means that the Federal Reserve is going to be more hawkish, meaning interest rates are going to be potentially higher. And in that regard, yields are going to go up with interest rates because they follow each other. Yields and interest rates follow each other. If an action is happening in the economy in which might justify keeping rates higher for longer, like higher inflation, yields are going to go up with it. That's probably why yields are gapping up today. All right, market's finally popping back up some here. But big brutal red action coming through in the markets right now. It's now at 9 a.m. chat, 9 a.m. Powell speaks at 10 a.m. Chat, 10 a.m. Look at the big yellow letters right here. But we're also going to have our own stream dedicated to Powell. So if you want to be in the weight room for that stream, it's going to be starting at 10 or at like 9:40, 9:35, right after the open. Yeah, there you go. All right. Honestly, I might start the Powell stream a little bit early, huh? I think I'll probably do it maybe shortly after the open. I'll switch over to Powell. Tom Brady and Andy Reid, the head coach of the Chiefs, getting into it. Honestly, Tom Brady is justified in criticizing the refs. All right, look at this big bounce up here. Like, he's kind of justified. Like, what, are we not going to ever question the refs? Of course we have to. Dude, this website sent me to a sketchy, weird bot website. Okay, you're crazy. Get out of here. I'm reporting the site. Powell talking about how, Powell is testifying in front of the Senate today, guys. All right, look at the market pop right back up. Let's see if we hit my 21.7 support or resistance level that we got on the chart. Look at that right there. Let's see if we hold now. Yeah, we absolutely need to hold the refs accountable, 100%. Like, not being able to criticize refs just because they're usually pretty favorable in terms of Chiefs call-outs. Like, Andy Reid's just being emotional. He's mad because he knows that the refs are hyper friendly to the Chiefs and Mahomes. You know, honestly, Tom Brady being the voice of reason against ref bias is kind of ironic too. They used to give Tom some freaking calls, bro. Like, Tom got gifted so many calls in the when he played. The refs loved Tom. So that's ironic in and of itself. Anyways, we went and tapped that 21.7 level. Where's Alibaba at now anyway? BABA? It's been moving up the last couple months. Up again today. It tapped 115. There's some type of Alibaba news out right now. This might be what this news is. So again, Apple reportedly partnered with Alibaba to develop AI features for iPhone users in China, according to the information. Also, we have some other news regarding China. The U.S. duties on China could be paused, quote, if serious headway is made on Finn when Trump and the Chinese minister speak next week, according to the Wall Street Journal. In other words, no headway yet, and that's why no call and no pause on the tariffs, end quote. That should renew optimism on tariffs if they do get some type of deal done. Oh, yeah, I'm a Saints fan, too. I hate the refs. Absolutely. I still remember the Rams call that ruined our Super Bowl run. What, like 7 years ago? I still remember that call. The freaking no-called pass interference. That was so blatant. It completely ruined the game. Look at these support levels hold. Yeah, I'm still mad about it, to be honest. Every Saints fan is. All right, guys. Hey, we got 24 minutes left. 24 minutes left. Yeah, Baba teaming up with Apple. I gotta get these donuts out of here. This Dunkin' Donuts box is just staring at me. All right, guys, watch us live trade the opening bell today. Shopify CFO expects the move to 3-month trials and lack of substantive price changes in 25 to impact subscription solution growth. All right, market's coming all the way back up here. Here, we got this little level right here. 710, 709 could be a spot right here, guys. 710 for a pullback. Yep, there it is. I can kind of see it. I didn't draw it on my chart for some reason, but this level here. Look at that. Yeah, our Discord's completely free, guys. Go check out our Discord. There's the link in chat right now. Completely free, doesn't cost anything. Hang out with us in the Discord, guys. We appreciate the love. Man, our Discord's growing too, man. Look at all those people talking, chatting, hanging out. All right, guys, 20 minutes. Yeah, so I don't think that Discord links works. Hey, what's up, Ryan? Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. What's core inflation month over month released? Tomorrow. Inflation drops. That's the biggest report of the week. CPI. It's going to have more influence than even Powell today and tomorrow. I would guess. You never know for sure. Powell could. It depends on what Powell says. Powell could say some stuff that freaks everybody out. Or he could just say data dependent as expected. One thing's for certain though, he's probably going to get grilled. That's what happens during these Senate testimonies, is that he gets grilled from both sides. Like, both sides kind of just peacock is what I see. Both sides say, oh, we're so great. Look at what we did and you didn't do, Do you think Powell could influence the market today? Sure, he might influence the market. Yeah, so I don't think this Discord link works, Pawn. I think every time I use this link, it switches it. Here's the working Discord link. Let me delete this one. All right, guys. Market is going to open soon. Be ready. I'm wondering if I should just redirect over to the Powell stream now and trade the open after the redirect to Powell. I don't know. $8:30 Eastern Standard Time, Matthew, is when most economic data shows up in the morning. It's either there's always two times that it could show up in the morning. It's 8:30 Eastern Standard Time or it's 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 10 a.m. or 8:30 Eastern Time is when the data shows up. CPI is always at 8:30 unless there's like a holiday. I know one time it was at like 10 or something, but usually it's at 8:30. What happened to Apple? Apple and Alibaba announced a deal to work on AI features on the phone. So Apple has reportedly partnered with Alibaba to develop AI features for the iPhone users in China overseas. Here's the news. Kane. There it is right there. Yeah, so... All right, guys. Yeah, no, it certainly affects markets 100%. Powell influences the economy. Well, number one is because he's the Federal Reserve chairman, and that has big economic implications, of course. Yeah, gold's been pulling back today, although it's still up pretty big. Yields are up too, 4.5 plus percent, 4.53% right now. Gotta watch gold. Yeah. Are we thinking hawkish news from Powell today? I don't know. I think either one could happen. Okay, yeah, so we're going to go ahead and pivot to our Powell stream, guys. So listen, if you want to watch us day trade, go to the Powell stream. We're going to day trade the open live there. We're just going to go ahead and switch over now. So we got our full Powell. If it doesn't redirect you for whatever reason, here's the link right here in chat. So if it doesn't bring you for whatever reason, there's the link right here in chat. It shouldn't have to bring you. Literally, as soon as we hit in stream, it should immediately redirect you to Powell stream. And so as soon as we hit in stream, it should immediately redirect you to Powell stream, guys. So you shouldn't have to go anywhere. You shouldn't have to go anywhere. It should automatically redirect you immediately to Powell. If it doesn't, there's the link in chat. You can check it out. And again, we're going to stream the entire Powell speech live right here. Okay? The entire Powell speech live right here, 10 a.m. Go to the new Powell stream. That's where it's going to be. And I'll see you guys over there. Yeah, well, again, it shouldn't be much. We're going to end the stream and immediately pivot to the new stream. And so I'll see you guys over there. I love you all. I'll see you guys in 10 seconds or whatever, however long it takes for the redirect to work. Let's make sure redirect is here. Yes, sir. Okay, good. All right.